Hey, how's it going guys? JC here, and today we're going to be looking at the world's #1 Sion. And how I pick the best Sion is I go onto lolskill.net, under all regions I search Sion, and then I go down the list until I find the very first challenger. So we're going to be looking at this guy, and his name is Mi곤개 나갈꼬냐. On the Korean server, he is the highest ranked Sion player, so we're going to go off of this, and I'm going to show you guys really quickly his build and his runes. I'm also going to quickly touch over what he builds as support, so you guys get the idea. The main difference I noticed between his support and top is that as top lane, he always goes for Glacial Augment into Resolve Tree, and for support, he always goes for Arcane Comet into Resolve as well. But the difference is one goes Teleport and one goes Ignite. So let's go into his build right now. His build is very adaptive to the situation, so bear with me here. But every single game, he starts Corrupting Potion, and there's a very good reason for that because he goes for Time Warp Tonic, which increases potion duration by 20% and gives him 5% movement speed. So this is what he gets every single game, and generally he will always want to get Righteous Glory and either Abyssal Mask or Adaptive Helm. If there's a lot of AP, he'll get both of them, but Abyssal Mask is really almost a must-have because it increases magic damage taken by 10%, and also whenever you take damage, you gain mana, and whenever you spend mana, it restores 20% of that as health. So you can quickly see that this is actually a really good item for Sion because he's also tanky and he also spends a lot of mana by spamming all his abilities. Then we have Banner of Command. He usually rushes this along with Righteous Glory if he's versing a tank, or if he goes into late game and he has Baron buff, I guess he'll also buy that. Otherwise it's situational. Half the time he doesn't actually buy this item. The other thing is, against certain champions, he buys Adaptive Helm. And the list of champions goes like this. Against Kog'Maw, Talia, Cassiopeia, Azir, and Ryze, all of these champions, he'll probably buy Adaptive Helm over Abyssal Mask. The other item that is situational is Thornmail, which he buys only for Fiora and probably Tryndamere. Haven't seen any Tryndamere that he faced, but I know that Fiora, he always rushes Bramble Vest at the very least, and then goes for his regular build, then finishes off Thornmail later on. Frozen Heart and Randion's Omen just really depends on the enemy team comp. If they have a lot of AD, then he'll obviously build these items. But most of the time, he'll rush a Glacial Shroud when he comes back to lane because this builds into Righteous Glory. So now we're going to move on to his support build, and his support build is really simple and very straightforward. He always rushes Remnant of the Aspect, and then he buys boots of his choice, then he will buy a lot of pink wards, go for a locket, and then eventually Knight's Vow. But Knight's Vow is very rare to see in his match history because he buys so many pink wards that he can't even afford that. So if it gets to really late game, like 30-40 minutes, then he'll buy Knight's Vow, and then he'll just keep buying pink wards. I don't see him buy anything else. There is one game out of like 40 games that I see all the way back in his match history that he went for a Crystalline Bracer, and I'm guessing Crystalline Bracer will either build into Warmogs or Righteous Glory. I'm pretty sure it's Righteous Glory because that seems to be like a must-have for Sion. I noticed all Sion players in Korea are building Righteous Glory, and they're also going Glacial Augment, since Glacial Augment will actually shoot a slow whenever you have an active item that slows the enemy champion. So now we'll take a look at his runes, and he goes Inspiration into Resolve, so he gets the 145 health, really tanky early on in lane. He also gets Glacial Augment, I'm guessing for Righteous Glory synergy, and also he wants to keep someone slowed so he can run up to them really fast with Righteous Glory and just auto attack, shoot some freeze rays, slow everyone around. After that you have your E to Armor Shred and your Q to lock them in place. Magic Footwear for a 300 gold freebie so you can rush Righteous Glory or Banner of Command. Biscuit Delivery for sustain in lane. And Time Warp Tonic is actually really good because he always buys Corrupting Potion and it also synergizes with Biscuit Delivery. As you guys can see, potions, biscuits, and elixirs will last 20% longer and give him 5% movement speed while under their effects, so he'll be able to chase a lot easier. And then lastly, Bone Plating is a no-brainer. It's really overpowered right now and will probably get nerfed in the future, and also Second Wind. As for his support page, he goes for Arcane Comet, which is just spamming E in lane is just really obnoxious and it's going to slow someone if you land it, and the Arcane Comet damage is just guaranteed to land. After that you have Mana Flow Band just so that he never runs out of mana, Celerity, Scorch for the extra damage, and as for Resolve, he sometimes, instead of Bone Plating as a support, he goes for Demolish just to help with tower clears early. I'm guessing that's what it's there for, and he might sometimes switch to Iron Skin as well. So those are the options there. Anyways, let's jump into a game, and we're just going to focus on top lane for now because you can apply anything in top lane in terms of mechanics and laning into bot lane support just without the CSing. Typically in top lane, you'll be facing a lot of tank matchups, so you'll usually start Q against melee champions and E against ranged champions. There's not too much to talk about, but other than that, Poppy is probably the most aggressive tank you can ever face against. Otherwise, it's a very easy lane for Sion. If say you're up against a Maokai or Malphite or anyone like that, you just use your E and then you spam it at them and they'll just get low, they'll just eventually die. But Poppy is just like more of an aggressive champion, so you'll see her try to go for trades and go for really high V plays, and it's just up to Sion to survive. Other than that, I'm not going to show too much of laning phase other than this little gank right here. Wait, I'm just gonna back it up real quick because this one was really clean. So basically Nidalee throws a spear, puts a trap down, Camille gets hit by the trap so she gets a long distance leap, and then just, you know, leaps again, gets a few autos off with a Q, and that's it. And Camille was full health when she jumped over. Let's just say that she was full health when she jumped over. She was also level 2. Nidalee just has such an aggressive early game, and I'm going a little bit off topic, so we're just going to go back to this one. He basically uses all of Poppy's crafting charges and still has 2, so he's doing really well for himself. He has a biscuit charge, and they're just going to keep trading back and forth. So as tanks, you're just going to keep spamming your abilities. Just make sure you don't use your W too much, because W actually costs quite a bit of mana compared to 35 from E and also 45 from Q. So 65 is from W. And his skill order is basically Q, and then E, then W, and then you max E first, then you max W second. Against range champions, you want to skill E first. I'm going to fast forward this because it's just going to go on and on until basically a gank happens or something interesting happens, so we're just going to fast forward. One thing I did notice is Poppy was out of corrupting charges. She came back with Doran's Blade and also corrupting potion, and then Sion goes back, and what I didn't like was he teleported back. Considering that this wave is hard pushing back to him, he teleported back, which I don't really agree with. He can just simply walk back, because later on he's going to have a lot of trouble and he probably needs that teleport. But at the same time, we're going to see what happens. So you guys can see Poppy is super aggressive. Like, she just goes straight forward. She just eases into him and just autos him, Qs him, just follows him down the lane. So not much to see there, but Sion's job is just basically has to survive this one. Just tank it out, survive it, and be good to go. It's a lot easier for him to do if he saved his teleport and just walked back, because there was no rush to come back to this minion wave considering it was hard shoving back to his tower. Like, look at this. He's getting harassed so much more, when if he came back to lane just a little bit later, he will still have TP, and this would actually just be hard shoving all the way anyway. So that's something that we could improve on. So this eventually shoves into tower. We're going to see what Poppy does, if she's going to dive him or not, because Poppy is actually a really strong duelist, believe it or not. And against Tryndamere, she actually can outduel Tryndamere like really easily. So really interesting how she plays. This is a Poppy main, by the way. This Poppy is really clean, really good. So you guys will see some really nice plays by Poppy. Like, where did she go? She goes down and takes a plant. Really smart move. You guys should always do that. If you're a top laner, always go for these plants. They're really nice, especially if you shove into tower. Okay, so eventually they're both out of corrupting charges, and Poppy's just going to bully him out because he's completely out of mana, and Poppy still has mana and is going to be able to dive him very soon. So now that he has no teleport, we're going to see what he does, because this is going to get pushed into tower and it's going to crash into tower. Luckily, it is a cannon wave. That's one thing that's really smart about this back timing, is there's a cannon wave, so even if it crashes into tower, he at most is going to miss is a frontline minion and also a cannon. But look, he actually uses his ult just to get back to lane, so that's one thing that I guess he had going for him, is he wants to use his teleport early, so he can just use his ultimate to come back to lane anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's not too punishing. But it means that you're down an ultimate in order to roam or also to engage in a fight in a 1v1 at top lane, which seems to be happening a lot against a very aggressive tank like Poppy. Anyways, we're going to fast forward a bit onto the next piece of action. So yeah, there's a lot of aggressive trading going on. I'm not going to cut that part out because I just want you guys to have a quick overview of it, because it's just two tanks battling it out. And they need to battle it out because Poppy's just really aggressive, so you can't just sit back and farm and take all the harass. You have to fight back. What you can do with Sion is you can go to a minion and then you can E and try to hit them, or try to cancel recall. And that's how you harass range champions as well. That's why Sion has the highest win rate right now, is because against range matchups, he can just keep E-ing minions onto the enemy range champion and they'll just get low, they don't have enough sustain, and they'll just simply lose. They'll just get dove with ult and with E, with Q. You know, just really oppressive champion. Like, Sion's actually really strong for a reason. And Poppy's just going to go nuts right now, like go for a tower dive. Sion played that really well with ultimate and Q. Like, this could easily have been a kill if Sion didn't react fast enough. So right here, she E's, then Q flashes, then autos for the shield, and then picks up the shield, runs away. But because Sion used his W just in time, he was able to survive that. So that was really clutch. And now Corki's just gonna come in and pick up a free kill. Gonna turn off the fog again. Okay, so right now there's some bot lane action happening, and Sion's gonna teleport in. Probably tried to clean up, so couldn't go for Tristana. Presses W, then E, flashes, autos, and then pops his W again. So that's something you want to do, is once you are going into a fight, you want to press your W right away so that on demand you can use it to burst enemies down, or you can just have it as a shield. Shield lasts quite a long time. Yeah, the shield lasts 6 seconds, so it's quite a long time, and after 3 seconds you can reactivate it to do some damage. And the damage it does isn't even a joke. It's 65 plus 11% of the target's maximum health as magic damage, so it scales with the enemy's health. Like if you're up against Poppy and she doesn't have any resistances, you're going to do a lot of damage with your W. That's insane. Okay, so he rushed his very first item, which is Righteous Glory, and we're going to see exactly why every single Sion in Korea builds Righteous Glory as a must-have. Also, he got his free boots as well, so that's really nice. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, I'm just going to show you guys how these two tanks duke it out, because this is what's been happening the entire laning phase there, which I skipped over a lot of it. But they're just basically trading autos back and forth. After she charges, he can use his Q, but make sure you don't use a Q before that because she'll just cancel it. And then, you know, just all out, just like fight with ultimate, everything. He's gonna pop his Righteous Glory and run for it. But it's not gonna kill, you know, like, not even close. I guess he just wanted to do more poke damage, because there might be a chance that, because his W scales with max health, so his W is going to be the hardest hitting ability, second to his E. Also, one thing to note is that the enemy team is actually full AD, so his build is actually going to change just by a little bit. He's still going to buy his banner, but he's not going to buy Abyssal Mask or Adaptive Helm just because there's no AP threats on the enemy team. So that's the only exception when he actually skips out on that Abyssal Mask. Otherwise, you should always buy it. The other thing to note is I really don't like Zed. You know how this Zed in this game is, he's fed, right? But he's completely useless. I just feel like if you have an AD mid, if you're a top laner and you have an AD mid, chances are of dodging is really high if you don't want to lose. They could do really well, but they'll be useless late game. And that's to all the Zeds and Yasuos, unless you're a one trick, but even a one trick, still not a fan of it. Okay, so right here, Poppy TP's down to this team fight, and Sion decides to go back. He actually cancelled his own TP because I guess his team already won the fight. So now he's going to go back, buy his banner and his Righteous Glory. We're going to see what he does with it. So right away he goes back to pushing this wave in and he promotes this minion. I think he's going to try to protect it and he's going to push with it, because promoted cannon minions are really, really strong. So you guys will see that he tries to shove it out all the way into tower. Hopefully... Okay, so now Poppy's trying to kill this promoted minion. He's going to just defend it to his best of his ability. Right now all his 4 items is Righteous Glory and Banner of Command. You guys can see he's getting collapsed on. He pops his Righteous Glory, it slows everyone, and then he presses his ult. Do you guys see that? This is why you get Righteous Glory, guys. You get it because you can just pop it, slow everyone around you, walk a few steps up, and then just ult away. So you'll always be safe and get out of any situation. Okay, actually, let's watch this really closely and see if his Glacial Augment actually did anything. So watch when he uses this. You guys can see this little freeze ray down here, this blue thing. I guess that's an extra slow. And Tristana tried to jump on, but it's already too late, I guess. Or she short jumped. So that is amazing. I thought that is something that you guys should know. If you want to be a Challenger Sion main, this is one mechanic that you need to know, is Righteous Glory is a must-have. And I guess if you don't have it, it means that you don't really need to escape and you really need that Thorn Mail. I have seen him maybe like a very few games where he doesn't build Righteous Glory. Okay, now after recalling, he's pushing top again, and we're going to see a really big team fight breakout. So we're going to see how exactly he does it. Oh, that's a very nice ult. And then Camille just ints into the enemy team. Look at how Poppy plays this one. Like, that is so clean. And she dodged his spear as well. Do you guys see this? Poppy is so clean. Like, I was just really impressed by just like the tiny bit of attention to detail, and all the little movement she does is just amazing. Okay, so this is the jackpot. With Banner of Command and Baron, the game is over. And the reason why is because Baron now buffs cannon minions to do double damage, and if you do double damage and also have Banner of Command, greatly increases the power of lane minions and makes them immune to magic damage. You guys see that? Immune to magic damage, that's insane. That means only ADCs can stop them. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in a second. Like, look how long range a cannon minion is. Okay, this one's way too low health, so he's not going to promote that one. Okay, so there's a lot of people here in the Fog of War, and we're going to see what Sion does. Right now, it's just Rush with... she just Zhonya's right there and dies instantly. Sion goes in, gets the Freeze Ray and also Righteous Glory, and just like uses his Q. It's so aggressive. It stuns everyone, and then after that he ults on top of that. So Really, really oppressive. And that's just Sion's team fight in a nutshell, really. Okay, so now that he promoted this minion, watch how much damage it does to the tower. I'll slow it down. Look at that. Every hit, it does a lot to these outer towers, and then I'm gonna fast forward and show you guys what it does to inhib towers. Do you guys see that? Right there. Those really big gaps. And then look what it does to inhib. So it's immune to magic damage. AP casters can't do anything. Look at that. Look at each hit. It's destroying. Literally all you have to do is stand around your cannon or around your promoted Baron minion, and that's it. You just siege like that. You don't even need to auto attack. Your ADC doesn't need to do anything. You just have to prevent the enemy ADC from hitting that cannon. That's it. And that cannon is super tanky. So you guys can quickly see why Sion is super high win rate. Is just that he bullies out range matchup. He bullies out most tanks except for Poppy. And he can easily survive most lanes anyway because he's a tank. Then you have your teleport and your ultimate to get back to lane really easily. It's so good. It's so good. Righteous Glory so that you can split push, and if you get caught then you can use it to get out of sticky situations by slowing them and ulting away. And then you have Banner of Command is if you get Baron, it's GG. You just promote a minion and then it's game over, you just won. So look, he's going to do that trick again where he uses Righteous Glory to slow and then get the right angle to ult away. But this time there's a Camille ult. That's the only way it's going to stop him is Camille ult. Yeah. And then they just like take forever to kill him, but he eventually goes down. And yeah, his team just comes over, cleans up the fight because they're already really far ahead with Baron Gold, with all these outer objectives, everything. So they can just go nuts. Get free kills, collect elo. Team ends the game, and you guys can quickly see that this is why Sion has the highest win rate, is because he's very versatile in terms of laning. He's very strong in team fights. He builds very tanky. He can also roam with his ultimate by ulting mid or ulting bot lane. He can ult to get back to lane. He can teleport, and he also rushes Banner of Command, so really OP. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if there's a particular champion you want me to review, and I'll try to do my best to accommodate. If you watched to the very end and enjoyed this video, be sure to support this channel by dropping a like and a comment. Any comment would do because these comments actually help a ton. I know that there's one particular video that's getting a lot of comments. It's just getting a crazy amount of traffic onto that video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching to the very end, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.